The movie begins with a student named Bartleby Gaines taking pictures of some of his graduating classmates, which he plans on using to create fake IDs for them. As he takes a picture of one of the graduating classmates named Glenn, he tells him to take his shirt off as it might ruin the fake ID he will make for him. While failing to understand, Glenn refuses to take it off, and Bartleby decides to take the pictures as he plans to edit them later. His friend Schrader walks into the classroom only to find Bartleby taking photographs of some graduating classmates. Surprised by what he sees, he asks Bartleby, "What the hell is going on?" Bartleby tells him to relax and that he forgot to tell him about borrowing his keys. Displeased with his actions, Schrader asks him if he knows what will happen if he gets caught. Because every day after the 8th grade, the vice principal Matthew comes in to rip a copy of a women's fitness magazine. Surprised by this information, Bartleby tries to wrap things up quickly as he hears the bell sound, meaning the vice principal is already at the door. The scene fades away as Vice Principal Matthews enters the classroom and finds Bartleby and the students singing as he tries to grasp why and what they are doing there. In the next scene, Bartleby and Schrader are walking toward the parking lot when they run into Monica, who calls out Bartleby's name as she approaches him. Bartleby introduces her to Schrader while Schrader describes their first meeting. She then asks Bartleby if he could help mow their lawn after talking about the upcoming prom and a party she plans to throw at her house beforehand. Shocked by what she said, he agrees to assist her as her boyfriend. Hoyt Ambrose arrives to pick her up in his car. Later that day, Bartleby visits the mailbox stand, discovering that the University of Massachusetts has rejected him. The next scene shows Bartleby speaking with his younger sister Lizzie about how surprised he is to have been rejected. Lizzie suggests that perhaps he is too average. Disappointed by what she said, Bartleby prepares to persuade his parents that he should forego college because he keeps getting turned down. After dinner, Bartleby attempts to persuade his parents about not going to college by passing them a printed piece of paper that hilariously claims that over the next 4 years, either they will be spending $80,000 or he will earn more than $80,000. His parents ask him if he doesn't want to go to college. Bartleby attempts to persuade them, but he responds with a no. The scene fades away with his parents criticizing his plan and drawing comparisons to his younger sister, Lizzie. The next scene shows the graduation ceremony with Schrader's mom making a toast to the graduating student as she wishes them well. On the other hand, Bartleby is talking to a friend named Hans at the ceremony when they encounter Rory, a graduating classmate who is vocal about her disappointment at not being accepted to college. Bartleby gets disturbed by this and tries to flee the ceremony but runs into Schrader's dad, who takes a walk with him to meet Schrader, only to find his parents there as they express how sad they are about him not getting into college. The scene fades away as Bartleby is seen creating a fake acceptance letter later at night. The next day, Bartleby meets up with Schrader and Hans as he requests assistance from Schrader in creating a phony university website. Despite being uncomfortable with his request, Schrader decides to assist him. In the next scene, Bartleby is seen sitting on the couch reading a newspaper as his father enters the room carrying a letter, informing him that he has been accepted into the University of South Harmon Institute of Technology. He tries to make it seem genuine by acting surprised and delighted as he hugs his mother, leading them to believe that he has finally been accepted into college. Lizzie responded that she had never heard of that college. His dad, shocked by the news, asked him, "What the hell is South Harmon Institute of Technology?" Bartleby explains that the school is the younger sibling and the quietest and unaffected of the sister institutions. His father, who is still not persuaded, asks him if he has any information about the university. Bartleby convinces him that there is a website and offers to show him the link. On hearing this, he congratulates him for finally getting into college. In the following scene, Bartleby is seen mowing the lawn as his father approaches him and expresses his doubts about the university website while handing him a receipt proving that he has just fully paid his first semester's tuition. Bartleby thanks his dad, who says he can't wait to drop him off. Terrified by this, he meets Schrader, who expresses his discomfort with their plan, and Hans at a gas station, where he meets Rory and Glenn. Rory finally tells them she knows a place near Harmon to rent so they can fool their parents into believing the university is real. He visits the location at night along with Schrader, Rory, Glenn, and Hans. When Bartleby first arrives, he questions Rory about how she knows the place, with Rory responding that she once performed volunteer work there. The scene fades away as they start renovating the building the following morning. Later, Schrader's father is seen dropping him off and wishing him luck as they stand in front of the university. Schrader meets Bartleby and the others after that day as they finish the property's renovations. As Bartleby talks about how happy he is with the school, his father calls to let him know about dinner plans and asks to meet with the dean to discuss his concerns and ensure his son gets the best education possible. A terrified Bartleby informs Schrader and the others that they must find a dean. The following day, Schrader's uncle Ben approaches Schrader and Bartleby, who are searching for a dean. They convince Ben to pose as a dean for a day. After being fired from his job at the grocery store for making a child cry, Ben agrees to it after a bit of persuasion. The next scene shows Glenn directing Ben as he arrives at the location and struggles to park his car in a suitable spot. Rory and Hans give brown uniforms to pretend as a student to fool Bartleby's parents, who will soon be there. On the other hand, Hans questions Rory about how she managed to convince so many people to assemble at the fake university. Rory responds that they are her students and tells them they would need to assimilate into the college environment to pass successfully. Conversely, Glenn signals Rory and Hans on the arrival of Bartleby and his parents. When Bartleby's parents arrive at the fake university, they are pleased by how the campus appears. He then shows them to his faux room, where they meet up with Hans, who poses as his roommate. Lizzie looks out the window and inquires as to the purpose of the bars, but Bartleby can deflect the question as he guides his family to the fake dean's office. As the Bartleby parents entered his office, Ben gave them a speech, and they were pleased with what Ben had to say. As they were leaving, his mother hugged him, and his father told him to make him proud. Glenn asks Bartleby what they are going to do now as his parents drive away, with Rory and Hans standing by his side. Bartleby says they are in college now, so we can do whatever we want. The next scene shows Hans and Bartleby playing video games as they celebrate the success of their plan with Glenn and Rory. A loud knock is heard from the door as Bartleby stands up to check it out. As he opens the door, he is greeted by a man who introduces himself as Abernathy Darwin Dunlap and states that he has attention deficit disorder. In an attempt to close the door, Bartleby informs him that it is no longer a mental health facility. Dissatisfied with what Bartleby said, Darwin tells him that the South Harmon Institute of Technology is the only college that accepts him. He plans to pursue an English degree but is not searching for a hospital. Surprised by his answer, Bartleby asks, "Is he sure he got in?" Darwin smiled and said, "Yes, we all did." Then, he opened the door wide so Bartleby could see the other students who came with him to school because they also got accepted. Bartleby, Glenn, Rory, and Hans were shocked to see the number of students present. The scene fades away as this happens. Later, Bartleby goes to Harmon College to look for Schrader. He runs into Monica, who accidentally spills a drink on him. She tells him she's glad to see him and asks what he is doing there. He tells her he is looking for his friend Schrader and asks her if she has seen him. Bartleby meets Ambrose, who is also the president of Harmony College, and he joins them. He finally meets Schrader, and Bartleby tells him what's going on as they head to the fake university. When Schrader arrived, he was astounded by the large crowd. Rory and the others ask Bartleby what he plans to do about the situation. Then, Bartleby agrees to send everyone home because he wants to tell them that the university is an illusion. Bartleby gets the attention of all the students in the room, but since they all have the same problem as he did, he can't tell them that the university is fake. Instead, he inspires them as he welcomes them to his fake university. Schrader and the others, who are furious about his decision, ask him what they should do now as the students try to get used to the fake university. Bartleby, who is very worried about the situation, goes into his room with Schrader and Rory to think. He afterward introduces Rory as the person in charge of the room since some students were breaking the walls to make their rooms bigger. The next scene shows Bartleby attempting to gain control of the situation as much as happening at the fake university. To learn more about running a university, he then visits a lady at Harmon College. Then, to learn how Harmon College is being operated and how to manage the fake university, he tours and takes some classes there. He runs into Monica, whom he had a little conversation with on photography, and afterward asks her a few questions to better understand how to manage his fake college. She quickly leaves because she needs to get to her class. Bartleby heads back to the fake university, where he holds a meeting with Glenn, Rory, Schrader, and Hans as they plan what to teach their students. The scene fades away as they bring in new equipment and try to make the fake university organized. In the next scene, Ambrose walks up to the door of the fake university, but Bartleby stops him from going in. Ambrose is trying to find the leaseholder so he can talk to him about Harmon College's plans to buy the property. Later that night, Monica is at a party at Harmony College and sees Ambrose kissing another girl. She is upset and leaves the party. The following day, Monica went back to her room with a sad face and found a gift from Bartleby, a beautiful camera. After that, she goes to the fake university to look for Bartleby. She finds Bartleby in one of the classrooms and thanks him for the gift. Then Bartleby takes her on a tour of the building. Later that day, he walks Monica back to Harmon College, where he runs into Schrader in a weird costume as they approach him. He tells Schrader about his bizarre outfit and that he should stop humiliating himself. Schrader disagrees with him, and the scene fades away as this happens. The next scene shows Schrader warning Bartleby about his decision on the fake university as he tells him to shut the college down. Later that night, Bartleby throws a big party at the fake university with many students attending from Harmon College, turning the big party organized by Ambrose into a failure. Bartleby meets Monica at the party, where he shows her his room. They have a good time together and eventually kiss. Disappointed that his party didn't go well, Ambrose goes to the fake university, where he meets Monica and Bartleby. He leaves after he talks with Bartleby for a while. The scene ends with everyone at the party having a good time. In the next scene, Ambrose's friend Gwen knocks on Schrader's door and lures him to Ambrose's house, where he is beaten up and gives them information about the fake university. The following day, Bartleby meets up with Schrader just as he discovers his secret has been exposed. Later that morning, Ambrose contacts the parents of every student and, together with Van Horn, the dean at Harmon College, exposes the South Harmon Institute of Technology as a fraud. Shortly after, they demand the school be closed, and Bartleby will face potential jail time for fraud. In the following scene, Schrader exposes a large amount of Harmon College's corruption and submits South Harmon's application for accreditation, giving Bartleby a chance to establish his college as legitimate. Bartleby convinces the board to give his school a 1-year probationary accreditation so that he can try out his new system and make the school work, defeating Van Horn's plans, during the subsequent State of Ohio educational accreditation hearing by delivering a passionate speech about the shortcomings of conventional education and the value of following one's passions. Schrader and Monica are among the additional students who enrolled at the renovated and expanded college. In addition, Bartleby receives his father's blessing at last, who is pleased that his son now owns a college. The movie ends as Van Horn approaches his car in the parking lot, only to witness it explode. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.